So today we've got an exciting discussion lined up. When we put a survey at the start of the year about what type of topics you would like to see most in this group, the biggest response we received was for social media hacks. Now that's quite a broad topic, so we're going to go a bit more specific and talk about 3 ways to use authentic influence in your marketing to increase your sales. And I'm sure many of you here would agree that a lot of social media strategies are really all about marketing. And for many of us, the goal is to attract more sales. So we've got a special guest today, a good friend of mine, who's going to share some tips in the next 15, 20 minutes, some gold nuggets to get you started, because she will be presenting at our next networking event on March 21, which is less than 2.5 weeks away. So get your tickets. She's the founder of Amplify Your Influence. Her passion is helping people who are driven, by that desire to create positive change, to grow a thriving business that they love, that makes a significant and meaningful impact in the lives of others. She's presented over 400 live and in-person workshops, and once a week you'll catch her do a Facebook Live. So she's really committed to providing top value to her audience, and she's all about giving and giving. It's Kat Miller. Hey, Kat.
Thank you, Mark. What a beautiful intro. Thank you. Hello, everybody. So great to have you here. As Mark said, we love interaction. So please pop your comments, anything that stands out, your thoughts, any thoughts you have. We always love to see it. And I'm so excited for this event coming up. Thank you to the Sway Committee for inviting me. I'm really excited to meet some of you in person. It'd be so nice to get outside of the Zoom room.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for your time, Kat. So let's get started. Why is influence so important in marketing?
Yeah, we chose the topic influence. I met with the committee and we talked about how influence can infiltrate through everything we do. So yes, social media, but also through the way we speak to our clients and customers, the way we email, our whole brand presence. So influence is the thing. It's our messaging that filters through. And I'm sure, Mark, you've noticed in business and in life that the things that you do influence the people around you. You know, as a parent, the way you speak to Hendrix, influences him. I'm sure he copies you. Have you seen that? I bet it's really cute.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think for me, that influence, it's a subconscious thing a lot of times,
Right.
um, because it isn't about building that trust with people when you have that influence.
Yeah, we need to be able to build trust with people in order to influence them. And everything we do in our marketing is influencing people either to come closer to us or be repelled away from us. So this concept of compelling and repelling, we want to compel the right people to us and repel people that aren't the right
Mm.
fit away from us. And that requires some courage. But we are always being influenced by the people, the things around us, and what you demonstrate, others emulate. So if
Mm.
you demonstrate a desperate vibe, others are going to emulate that. If you demonstrate
Yeah.
positive change, courage, you really put your values front and for whatever that word is, at the forefront
Yeah.
of your marketing, then you're going to attract people that have the same values as you. And then
Yeah.
you're going to really enjoy your business because you're going to have clients and customers that have the same values as you.
Yeah, because I'm a big believer that you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. Sounds
Right.
like to me what we're going to learn today, it's going to be about strategic parts of influence, but it sounds like also, how you show up and your energy
Yeah.
behind that as well. But how, like, what's interesting in today's topic is we all talk about influence, but with what you specialize in is authentic influence. So how do you define authentic influence? What does that mean?
Yeah, so influence, sometimes people can think of it as, oh, they're trying to influence me in a negative way. So I want to start by saying what authentic influence is not. I also call it elegant influence or ethical influence, because influence is basically the dictionary definition of influence is the ability to be a compelling force. And the word force, I'm not sure if I love that word. It's like forcing, because sometimes in marketing we feel like we're being forced into someone's way of thinking, But
Mm.
it's really the ability to produce a different effect on the actions of other people or the behavior of other people. And so influence is neutral, and it can be used, it depends, it's like a tool that can be used for good or bad depending on whose hand it is in. So I like to describe what authentic influence is not. It's not manipulating people for personal gain. It's not pressuring other people into compliance. It's not deceitful. It's not misleading.
Mm.
It's not sacrificing
Mm.
integrity. it's
Yep.
it's really a skill that it's how people feel when they're with you. It's your personal character. It's how you're living your life. It's who you're being. It's working on your inner world. It's being a role model. So it's so much more than just how can I get what I want in business? It's how can I help people get what they want in business? How can I help people? Um, the more people that you help to get what they want, the more you're naturally just as a byproduct going to get what you want. But it's the intent to influence from a positive change point of view.
Yeah, I love that because I really resonate with that. And as you know, both you and I, we come from a coaching background. And over the years, one of the things that I've noticed when it comes to sales and marketing, a lot of times people are, using certain tactics. For example, just talking about pain points, bringing out, okay, this is the pain, uh, and it's almost making people feel guilty in a way because why you don't want to get you don't want to stay there, so
Mm,
you got to get your get your butt off and do something about it, right? But it's kind of like just relying on just hammering on the pain on someone, and I feel when I used to do that, um, there was a lot of resistance I found, and it was actually harder to connect with people and actually drive the sale um,
mm,
because
feel
it seemed to me personally it seemed almost manipulative, like you mentioned, when you're just focusing on pain points.
mm,
And I think what I love about what you do is you're quite strategic, but besides obviously bring awareness to pain points and desire, you've got a great way to actually add value and to elegantly guide someone to the next steps.
mm.
So it's not just playing on their emotions, but I
Right.
find you play great, you do great way in the logical side of things. And I find personally for me, when I find a balance between those two, that's where my marketing and my sales actually really improved.
That's interesting
Um,
that you've really seen the contrast. You've
yeah,
Yeah, because we've
yeah,
been told, agitate, agitate, right? We've been
that's
told
it.
by the
Yeah,
copywriters, like, dig
yeah.
and that felt
Coach, go back to the paint, go back to that place of trauma and keep going back
good.
until this person finally realizes they've got to do something about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I like saying elegant influence, because it shouldn't feel uncomfortable for either of you. Like there should be a moment maybe where someone's sitting in a little bit of tension because they need to make a decision, but it's a decision to improve their life. And sometimes
Mm,
we we sit in this, we get a realization of where our life's heading if we don't change, and that can feel uncomfortable. But then the relief is, okay, I'm going to do something about it. But to be ethical in what we're doing is only offering something if it's going to be a great fit for them, if they're gonna
yes,
love it, if they're going to get so much value out of it. And I wouldn't offer anything to someone if I didn't feel that they were going to get way more back from what they
absolutely. Yeah, it's not just a matter of trying to get the sale every single time, knowing that person is actually the right fit for you.
right.
Um, you know, So yeah, guys, if you got any questions, Twee says hi, Mark and Kat. Thanks for being here, mate. Um, so we're going to talk about 3 ways to use authentic influence in your marketing to increase sales. And obviously, as I mentioned before, Kat will be talking about that as well. She'll be going a lot more in depth in her presentation on March 21st. So Kat, are we going to be giving them an overview of all 3 ways, or how do you want to get started with that?
Yeah, this is actually something a little bit different to exactly what I'm sharing at the event. So you've got to come to the event because I'm only giving you a taste here, but I'll give you some things that'll just get you started, get you thinking, and you can apply them straight away. They're very simple, very easy to remember. And then I'm going to dive deep into them at the event where I've got more time to kind of really explain the brain-based concept behind it, because this is based in science, neuroscience. It's based in psychology, the science of influence. And if
Nice.
you know how to put this into your marketing, you can start making shifts in your marketing straight away. So I'll go through the three, and Mark, just feel free to jump in anytime. So
No worries.
one, if you are taking notes, is get people thinking. Get people thinking. Now, it sounds really, really simple, but basically, in order to influence someone to change, you need to inspire them to think differently. So the only reason
Yes.
someone is going to change and do something different and take a different action is because they thought something different. So it all starts in our thinking, right? So I call this belief shifting. So
Yep.
if you want more people to take action on your emails and your posts and your videos, then we need to shift your belief. So this can be a real game changer, particularly in content marketing, where we shift beliefs using our content so that more people respond to it and more people actually take action from it. So if you don't communicate through your marketing that what you offer will get someone the result that you're actually promising, then they're not going to buy. And so often, in order for someone to buy, they need to see things different. So the stronger the belief they currently have, the more likely they are to respond if that belief is shifted.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
if people need what you offer and they want what you offer and they have the resources to buy it, then the only reason they're not is because they don't yet see the value. They don't yet believe that they can get the result that you offer. So number one, get people thinking, and
Yep.
strategically thinking, what does my potential customer and client currently think? My ideal client, what's their current belief? And then what do I actually want them to believe? And then our marketing bridges that gap.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're going to go much deeper into this. I I guess do you find the way that we create that belief shift sort of varies with the way we market versus when we do sales, like talking to someone on the phone, or is it all question asking? Is it actually giving an example?
Oh, this is a great question, because if we define marketing and sales, from a very simplistic point of view, I think marketing is getting someone into a sales conversation, right? But it's kind of
Yes.
all marketing is sales, and all sales is marketing as well, because the sale is obviously where the decision is made.
Yeah.
But the whole process, the whole buyer's journey, we need to be influencing all the way through. So marketing, because it's one way, we have to predict what people are thinking, right? We have to
Yes.
think, okay, if I'm jumping on a video, I have to assume what they're thinking because it's just me doing a monologue, compared to when we're having a one-on-one conversation, for example, then it's more question-based. So when I'm in a sales conversation, it's probably 70 to 80% questions. But when I'm marketing, I still ask questions, but you
Yeah.
don't get a reply. So you just
Yeah.
assume, right?
Yeah, and obviously I think what I learned in that process is you've got to be really clear on who you're talking to, who that someone is. I
Yes.
think that's the biggest challenge that I went through is because I'm trying to help everyone. And I think that's a big temptation for a lot of entrepreneurs out there to just we think we're helping every single person. And that's what makes our marketing so complex. As soon as you become specific and you become narrow in who you're helping, who that someone is, then marketing and sales becomes super simple, super easy.
Yeah. Yes, the more specific, the more simple. Like I started off with business owners, and then I just kept going layers deep. And
Yeah.
I thought it was limiting me, but it actually makes my marketing so much easier because I know my ideal clients' values. I know what their beliefs are. And so
Yeah.
I sit down to write a piece of marketing, and I'm like, right, what belief am I shifting? Because I know what their beliefs are because I hear them in
Yeah.
conversations all the time. So something that I personally do that might be helpful for some people watching is every time you have a conversation with people, see if you can spot the limiting beliefs and then write them down.
Mm.
Write a list of limiting
Yeah.
beliefs that your ideal client has, and then feed it back to them in your marketing.
That's what I do. I've got a spreadsheet
Of course you
I've
do.
got of so much data because every time we get a new member, we would ask them questions. We would ask them, why did you join the program? What are some of your biggest pain points or challenges that you faced before you joined us? What is your ideal goal? What is your desired outcome? And what's your biggest questions? All these data really helps um,
Mm,
in that. But
yes.
anyway, so we talked about the first one. Thanks for that. So step number one is getting people to
Yeah.
think differently, and you do that through belief shifting. What's the
Right.
next step?
Yeah. So number one, get people thinking. Number two, get people feeling. And you mentioned this before, Mark, about the emotional pain points. Um, so yes, we need to show that we relate to what they're currently feeling, but we also need to shift the way they're feeling. So I call this dialing up the desire. So people already have desires
Mm,
in them. We don't have to create a desire. So in your marketing, it's not about creating desire, it's about dialing up desire. So I think of it like a volume switch. They've already got the desire in them. We just need to bring it front of mind because they might have a
yes,
deep desire to, I don't know, renovate their house, but at the moment they're so busy with the washing and the kids crying and everything else going on around them, right? So it's just bringing back that desire to the front of their mind. And when people look at a piece of marketing at an unconscious level, this doesn't happen consciously. They're thinking, it's almost like they're thinking, do I feel something when I see this? Do I see something? Do I hear something? So when we lay out scenarios, I know you're a big fan of story, Mark, like movie scenes in their mind,
yeah,
and that actually is what gets people feeling. So
mm,
in order for people to feel something, they need energy, they need imagery. And if you
yes.
become masterful at knowing how to dial up that desire using energy and using imagery, you'll become very good at influence.
Ooh, I love that. Know that you're going to go deeper into that at the event, and it's true, isn't it? Because it's our emotions that drive us towards decision making at the end of the day.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. And that brings me to number three, which
Yep.
is get people doing. So we've got get people thinking in a strategic way, shift their beliefs, get people feeling, dial up their desire, and
Yes.
get people actually doing. And so we don't want people to just feel something and be motivated and inspired, but then go away and forget about it and not do anything about it. We actually want people to take
Take
actions.
action. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's more than just changing someone's mind and emotions. It's about inspiring them to take a new action. So in order for them to take a new action, well, first of all, they need to trust you, right?
Yep.
You mentioned that before. Secondly, they need to feel something, a desire to change. And thirdly, it needs to make sense to them. And you mentioned before, Mark, about that logical approach. So it's emotion and logic. Once they've gone through that realm of instincts where they trust you, where they've gone through that level of feeling, then we get to the realm of the intelligence. And if your marketing is really organized,
Mm,
then people, the part of our brain, the prefrontal cortex that's responsible for logic and reasoning,
yep.
then people make a decision to move, to act, and that completes the cycle. And that's
Yeah.
when people actually make a decision and then take action.
Yeah. No, because where you mentioned how marketing and sales they work in sync together. And
Mm,
what I think what's really great about what you just shared is the three-step process. The first two, which is the thinking and the feeling, like you mentioned, when you do your marketing well and you get to the sales part where you actually end up talking to someone,
mm.
they should already be close to that decision making to take action.
Right. That's
And
a
I,
great distinction. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's rather than trying to rely when you talk to someone for the first time, trying to get them to go through the process right from
Yeah,
the start to the beginning.
so
It might
tough.
work if you've got all that time in your day. And I used to do that. Like when I was coaching, I had to go through that entire phase. Like my coach would actually tell me, if you have to be there for an hour talking to a prospect just to get them over the line, then do that. And that was exhausting for me. And it's once I actually learned to optimize my marketing,
Mm,
that's when the sales process became super easy,
right.
where I've got someone there now who's pretty much ready to take action and say, let's do it. I just need to know the logical details, the next steps.
That's
So,
Good point. So for those
Yeah.
of you watching that don't love sales conversations, the
Yeah.
more you put this into your marketing, the easier your sales will be.
100%. Yep. So awesome. Just a quick wrap. Number one, this is a three-step process Kat talked about: the thinking, number two, the feeling, um, and then the doing.
Yeah.
So if you guys, if you found that valuable, let me tell you, we've just scraped the surface pretty much. Like I said at the start, if you want to get the most out of the topic that we just discussed today, um, Kat's going to go much deeper into that our upcoming event, which is actually our first event for the year. It's taking place at Replay Lounge in Bankstown on March 21st. We run an event there before. It was quite packed. So hopefully it'll be the same for this one, if not more. So in true Sway style, you're going to expect prize giveaways, catering, of course, networking, games happening that evening, and of course, you've got Kat who's going to do an amazing presentation. So I want to thank you, Kat, for giving your time to do this Facebook Live. And yeah, we can't wait to see you on the 21st.
It's going to be amazing. And I'm sharing so much that I didn't share today about how to determine your next level of influence and the science of influence, like how to light up these different parts of the brain and the questions that your buyers are asking you at an unconscious level that you can answer through your marketing. It's almost like ticking the boxes in their head. And so if they feel inspired, then they'll buy if it's the right fit. I'm going to be sharing some of the words that raise resistance in people's brains, and also the words that lead people to actually want to take action. So, and some surprise content that you need to come to the event
Yeah.
to find out more about.
Yep. You got to be there to find out. Awesome, guys. Thank you, Kat. And for the guys who interacted on the Facebook Live, Robinson, thank you for that. And if you got any, that's my Siri. And if you've got any questions for Kat or about this Facebook Live, just pop them in the comments below. And it's something you can ask at the event as well. So hope to see you there.
Looking
Thank you,
forward to
Kat.
it. Thanks, everybody. See you at the event.
See you guys.